Part of keeping you and your family safe is alerting you to changes that could impact your day.
We're going to get you and your family prepared. That's all coming up in your next weather.
When you see a next weather alert, know that we are preparing you for what's next in your neighborhood. You're also seeing flooding, which is what our meteorologists have been warning us about.
When we see weather that could alter your plans or be potentially dangerous, we'll trigger a next weather alert.
So stay with KCAL News because we'll keep you safe no matter what the weather.
Well, there are night swims, and then there's this. Swimmers lit up Copenhagen's waterways as they celebrated a yearly tradition, taking part in a 2-kilometer swim just over a mile through the city's guided by colored lamps. It all happened last night.
The swim wound past a palace which houses Denmark's parliament, rather. Lifeguards on bodyguards watched over the participants as they swam in the dark. The nighttime event takes place over 2 days, but it's not competitive.
I was going to say, I'm not sure how you win that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Just enjoy.
Just hope to make it through.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely looks interesting. Thanks for watching KCAL News here at 8.
KCAL News at 9 starts right now.
This is KCAL News, Los Angeles.
And right now at 9, the search for headstone hunters. More than a dozen grave markers stolen from one of LA's oldest cemeteries.
Plus, children trapped inside the car during this pursuit crash on PCH. Tonight, their mother speaks out only to KCAL News.
And city leaders in Chicago and beyond are pushing back on immigration tactics we first saw right here in Southern California. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hunter Sowards.
And I'm Gio Insignares. Welcome to KCAL News at 9, streaming live on CBS News, Los Angeles. We start with an awful crime in Compton, thieves stealing headstones from a cemetery.
Yeah, and this is not the first time something like this has happened. KCAL News reporter Lauren Posen is live with family members who showed up to find their loved ones' headstones missing. Lauren.
Well, this is a historic cemetery, and sadly, it's just become a target for greed and disrespect. And all it's doing is just causing more pain and heartbreak for the families who have loved ones buried here. Families come to Woodlawn Celestial Gardens ready to remember, but what they find is heartbreak.
We come here, and there's no headstone. Gone. It's been there for 50-something years.
Gia Giannotti came to the cemetery to visit her mother's grave Saturday, only to find the headstone gone.
Kind of unbelievable. I still can't believe that it's not there after seeing it for so many years. It's hard for me, even if I look at it.
Her mother's headstone is one of 18 that were stolen. The owner thinks it was for the bronze and copper plaques. And on top of that, dozens more were vandalized. Replacing them can cost families up to $4,000 each.
I can't put a value on what this type of metal might cost. I know that them coming over and doing this to everyone or anyone that's buried at Woodlawn is very heartbreaking to myself.
This isn't the first time it's happened either. A year and a half ago, thieves hit the cemetery before, stealing more than 100 headstones, smashing some to pieces, and even taking the security cameras.
Would you want somebody doing this to your family? Would you want someone taking your mother's grave or your grandmother's grave or your child's headstone? Would you want that?
This is one of the oldest cemeteries in LA County, the final resting place for 26,000 people, including more than 900 veterans, some from the Civil War to the Gulf War. But now, thieves are turning this place of honor into one of heartbreak.
It's your mother. It's my mother. That this is the reason why it's affected me so much. And I hope that they do not come back and take the rest, and my brothers either. I have nothing.
Volunteers are doing what they can to help secure the grounds and prevent any more thefts. In the meantime, the LA County Sheriff's Department is investigating. Reporting live in Compton, Lauren Posen, KCAL News.
What a frustrating crime. Lauren, thank you. Developing tonight, a deadly stabbing in Hawthorne. SkyCal over the scene about an hour ago near Rosecrans and Crenshaw.
Investigators say it happened around 12:30 this afternoon when a man was stabbed and taken to a nearby hospital where he later died. Right now, no word on a suspect. We do have a crew headed to the scene right now, and we'll keep you updated. Catching waves in Manhattan Beach, a great day in the water and on the sand as Labor Day weekend marks the unofficial end of summer. Good place to cool off while a next weather alert is in effect as the heat continues into next week.
Yeah, I feel like we're having a little bit of deja vu here. KCAL News meteorologist Olga Espina tracking those toasty holiday temps.
Yeah, we could have used a little bit more of a break in between these heat waves, but we are getting started with some major heat. Once again, for the beaches, temperatures will be mostly in the 80s. You are not under our next weather alert. However, most of our inland spots are. That includes the deserts, LAOC Metro, as well as the Inland Empire, the Valley. So we're talking temperatures in the 90s and in the 100s for the coming days. Already this afternoon, we felt some major heat. 90s and a few triple digits from the Antelope Valley into parts of the Inland Empire. But as we head into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see more of those 100s moving in. So hottest locations, the high desert at 102, 101 in the Inland Empire, 103 for parts of our valleys. Comfortable for our mountains as well as the LAOC Metro area in the low 80s, or the beaches, I should say. LAOC Metro, you're going to be warm, 92 degrees tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about how long this intense heat will stick around coming up in just a few minutes.
Olga, thank you. Happening right now, a large car meetup in Sherman Oaks. SkyCal live over the crowd in the Rouse parking lot at Van Nuys and Burbank Boulevards.
Yeah, you can see as we kind of widen out just how big this scene is right now. Those classic cars, they're all packed into a parking lot. We can see a couple of police officers in the area, so probably just keeping tabs on the situation, making sure everything just stays friendly. LAPD tells us officers are requesting crowd control, so something we'll of course watch as this develops. A mother is speaking out after a man steals her car with her 3 kids inside and then crashes at a high speed during a pursuit.
KCAL News reporter Zach Boetto has an interview with the family you'll only see here on KCAL News.
These photos show 3 young boys recovering from their injuries after a nightmare scenario for any mother played out Friday night when a car left running with 3 kids inside was stolen from a convenience store on Olympic Boulevard in East LA within seconds of their mother going inside. Tonight, the mother asking for her face not to be shown.
You blink and you see a stranger in the car with your kids, and your kids are crying and desperate for their moms. So they take off their seatbelt, they're reckless, they're scared, they're afraid, and you just see someone run away with them.
The LA County Sheriff's Department says the children's father was in a car nearby and tried to stop the carjacker, but got dragged a short distance before falling to the ground. The suspect then leading LA County Sheriff's deputies and CHP on a high-speed chase west, then up PCH and through Malibu, with the 3 young boys, ages 2, 7, and 8, still inside the silver sedan. The boy's mother saying she felt helpless in those moments without her kids and without her phone, which she says the suspect threw out of her car during the chase.
She was in shock during the incident because of the fact that her kids were just taken away from her so blatantly. It was just a shock to any mother, of course, that her kids are taken.
That chase minutes later coming to a sudden end when the suspect crashed nearly head-on into another car in a busy intersection in Malibu, where people who witnessed the crash were shocked by the impact.
I saw so many accidents, but this one was the worst one.
The suspect immediately jumping out of the car, leaving the children and running away through thick grass, steep hillsides, and even climbing over a barbed wire fence before eventually being taken into custody. The children taken by helicopter to UCLA Medical Center, where they remained Saturday night with their mother and other family members, grateful to have them together again.
Before we left, they were jumping, happy, joyful, without knowing what would happen seconds next.
Zach Boetto, KCAL News.
Now to this one. One person is killed in a house fire in Pasadena this morning. Firefighters responding to a call just before 6:30 on Lancashire Place near Leda Street. Now, after putting out the fire, that's when crews found the body. That person has not been identified, and there is no word on how the fire started.
Southern California was the testing ground for President Trump's federal immigration plan, but as he plans to expand enforcement procedures across the U.S., CBS News correspondent Willie James Inman reports leaders in some of the nation's biggest cities are fighting back.
Mayor Brandon Johnson took an extraordinary step today, signing an executive order blocking Chicago police from cooperating with federal agents. CBS News has learned the Trump administration plans to intensify immigration enforcement in the city as early as next week. But Chicago's mayor is not having it.
We will not have our police officers who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president.
It would be the latest move in the president's immigration crackdown. Los Angeles was the first American city seeing U.S. troops deployed in the streets in response to June protests against ICE raids. The White House dismissed Johnson's remarks in a statement, saying, if these Democrats focused on fixing crime in their own cities instead of doing publicity stunts to criticize the president, their communities would be much safer. The showdown comes as the president's agenda faces legal setbacks. Late Friday, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration from expanding fast-track deportations nationwide. Also Friday, a major blow to the president's economic agenda. A federal appeals court ruled the president's use of emergency powers to impose worldwide tariffs illegal, ruling he overstepped his authority. In its decision, the court said it seems unlikely that Congress intended to grant the president unlimited authority to impose tariffs using the 1970s era law.
Now, the ruling does not impact tariffs on aluminum, steel, and cars, and it doesn't go into effect until mid-October, allowing time for an appeal, which Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Department of Justice will pursue at the Supreme Court. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
The Federal Public Defender's Office is reportedly trying to have acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley removed from his post. According to the LA Times, a motion was filed today in Los Angeles to have him disqualified. Asaley, a former Riverside County Assemblyman, was set to expire in late July unless he was confirmed by the Senate or a panel of judges. We reached out to Asaley's office for comment, not heard back.
All right, we want to take a live look at LAX tonight as travelers get their last licks of summer this holiday weekend. The TSA is expecting nearly 17.5 million people at checkpoints across the country through Wednesday, so LAX is about to not only be the only place that's busy. Most Americans, though, are going to be traveling by car. They'll find cheaper gas prices, down about 14 cents a gallon from a year ago, except here in California. So drivers, we actually saw pump prices jump 10 cents a gallon this week, and these are also cheaper domestic round-trip flights, 6% less expensive than the holiday last year. This is all according to AAA. Passengers on a SkyWest jet, though, had a pretty rough start to their holiday, hitting turbulence on a flight from Aspen, Colorado to Houston.
Someone in front of me flew up and hit the ceiling 3 times.
So 2 people were hurt. Spirit Airlines also hitting some turbulence of their own. The Florida-based airline declared bankruptcy for a second time this year. And here's a look at those gas prices across SoCal. Ventura County at $4.64. LA County sitting at $4.63. Orange County at $4.59. And the IE is the lowest at $4.49. Well, Lotto fever is sweeping the country again. $1 billion jackpot on the line in tonight's Powerball drawing.
People were grabbing last-minute tickets